Hey guys, what's growing? It's Heather at Bush Poppy Farm. It is Thursday. We are already starting to get rain. It's early in the day. Supposedly this wasn't going to start until this evening, but they've moved up the window. So I'm home today instead of in the greenhouse at the farm, but tomorrow I'm going to be at the greenhouse at the farm, even if it's dumping rain, to work on the lilies. I have to bring a ton of seedlings out there. So what I'm going to be doing here in the greenhouse today is potting up, bumping up seedlings because they're so big. I mean, these cosmos, just huge. These guys, Euphorbia, Snow on the Mountain, Rudbeckia triloba, Eryngium, they could go a little bit longer, but I'm going to go on and bump them up because their soil blocks are looking kind of gross because of, you know, being in here for so long. When did I plant these? I sowed these 131, so they've been in here for over a month. They need to get bumped up, and then they will go out to the farm in their bigger pots, and they'll stay in the greenhouse there until I can plant them in the upper field. We've got 7 days ahead of us of nonstop rain. And, you know, I don't want to be complaining about this because, like, the rain is good for California. It means that I'm really far behind. Like, at this point, I would have already added compost to the upper field and started planting. So that's okay. I mean, northern gardeners and farmers plant much later than this. So I'm just... basically what I have to do is pivot and bump up all the seedlings instead of, normally I would take these out in their soil blocks and pop them in their soil blocks. But we're gonna have to do an extra step and just bump them up into pots. So that's all right. It's just they take up a lot more space that way. So they're gonna go out to the farm where I have a much bigger potting bench and I can keep everything there. The other reason I'm staying home today is to start pre-sprouting the dahlias. So I have those in a box. And this morning, when they opened, I went to Concord Feed in Pleasant Hill and I got 4 new chicks, and I'll show you those in a second. It was like being at the DMV. There was a line of like 80 people, you know, waiting to get in to buy chicks, and they were extremely well organized. So there was a line for chicks, and then there was a line for people coming in to buy other stuff. And they would take one person at a time, take them over to the chick place, let you pick what you wanted, put them in a box, and send you off to the register. So it was great. There wasn't like a mass mob of people around all of the, you know, all of the chicks trying to pick up and stuff. So you weren't even allowed to touch chicks. The employees did it for you. So there was like 4 employees working the area. So 4 people at a time got served. It was so speedy, so fast. It was amazing. I was very impressed. They did have a minimum of 4, a maximum of 4 that you could take, but that's okay. I only wanted to get 4. They did have blue lace Wyandottes, which was one that I was actually interested in getting, but they were sold out by the time I got there. No big deal. She said, but we do have Barnfelders and we also have Easter eggers. And I was like, I'll take Easter eggers. She said all 4. I said, yes. So I'll show you. They're smaller, obviously, than the other chicks, but these Easter eggers are 3 days old. And my other chicks are 7 days old. So they really are only 4 days apart. And they seem to be getting along just fine. It's really funny because when I put the babies in, the new babies in, I dipped their beaks in the water and they immediately went under the brooder plate and pretty much stayed there. And the other chicks were like booted out, pushed out, the older chicks. And the older chicks have been like, what do we do? So they've been kind of huddling together. But I've made it really nice and warm in here. It's almost 70 degrees in here because it's really cold outside and raining. And now they're all like hanging out together. So one of the reasons I wanted to work in here today is to make sure that they got along. Research and experienced chicken keepers have told me that you can combine in the same brooder chicks, different age chicks, as long as they are within 2 weeks of each other. And these guys are like 4 days. So seems like they're going to get along just fine. So let me introduce you to the new ones. They're so cute. I mean, they're all cute, but I'm excited because Easter eggers lay lots of beautiful pastel color eggs. So that'll be really fun. All right, let's meet them. Okay, you can see that's the original brood. They're all hanging out, definitely getting more feathers. And then here's 2 of the new guys. And these also are already sexed. So they are females. Look how cute. Little fluffer butts. And then there's 2 under here. Let's see if I can lift this up. without disturbing them too much. I know. Look how cute they are. Okay, I know you're cold. It's all right. Here we go. They're like, what are you doing? So, everybody's eating, everybody's drinking. They all seem to be getting along. I really love the colors on this one. So I'm excited. These guys over here, I think they're mostly hanging out there because it's nice and warm in here. They're sleeping, they're curled up on the ground. But hopefully they're not actually cold. But it's crazy how just 4 days makes a difference inside. You're gonna keep hearing cheeps in the background because I'm in here with 10 baby chickens. Okay, so I'm going to get the cups and everything laid out, filled to start potting up these seedlings, and I'll show you, if I can find it, the easiest way to do these with 3/4 inch soil blocks. Okay, first round of cups filled. This is not nearly enough because this over here is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. This is 240 seedlings. This is 32 cups. This is 32 cups. So obviously I'm going to need more, but not everything in here has to get potted up right now. I definitely am going to start with the Cosmos. So one of the cool things about using soil blockers, the 3/4 inch soil blocker, which is what all these seedlings are in, you can bump those up into 2-inch soil blocks, which I might end up doing. It just uses a lot more soil, believe it or not, than these cups do. These are 1.5 inch cups, and I'm running low on soil, but I can run out and get some. But the cool thing is, what makes it actually really fast and easy, so I probably will end up doing this. It's just the 2-inch soil blocks are a little bit harder to keep the moisture right in. But, so here's the 2-inch blocker. On the 2-inch blocker, they come with these little inserts that are a cube. These are 3/4 inches. So when you make a soil block, a 2-inch soil block, it makes an indent of 3/4 inches, a perfect indent that you then just go pop your seedling in. So I'm going to use this, I just took it off of that one, I can put it back on, to make indents in these cups that then I can just pop the soil blocks right in, and it'll be fast and easy. So it'll look something like this. This cup here, I'm going to push in, see the divot, and then we just take our 3/4 inch soil block and we pop it in. This one, because it's so tall, is going to need some support. I'll put a tag in there to label it, but there you go. So super fast and easy. I'm going to add a little extra soil around this guy because it's so tall. I should have potted these guys up a week ago. Live and learn. Anyway, that'll start sending out its roots and it'll get more stable. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make the indentations in all of these and pop in the soil blocks. Much faster and easier. I don't really have to even dig holes. So it's going to be a little bit loud because it's raining harder and the wind is picking up. So it's been a few hours. I had to go get the kids. Poor Aiden has a really bad migraine, so I had to go pick him up and bring him home early. But I have started on the potting up. That's going to be probably a multi-day project. And I actually went, after I picked Aiden up, I went and got 2 huge bags of potting soil so that I can pot up the rest of them. I may end up making soil blocks because I think I'm going to run out of, some kind of cell to put them in. Definitely out of pots to put them in. So I'll show you what I've done so far, and then we're going to move on to the dahlias. Okay, up here, this is at the top of the greenhouse, so I'm holding you guys over my head. These are, I think, all Cosmos, different varieties. The same thing with that tray. They're going to go out to the farm tomorrow. These zinnias, I think I'm going to keep in here for a while because they still need some heat. I did pot up more. These are more Cosmos back here. Those will go out tomorrow as well. Still to get potted up, this whole tray and this whole tray needs to get bumped up. These are all going out. These are 2 different successions of sunflowers. Those are all going out tomorrow. There's another succession of sunflowers also going out tomorrow. And there's a succession over there on the shelf that's going out tomorrow as well. Also going out, I think this is my most recent succession of sunflowers. That's going out tomorrow. And then I'm not sure what I'm going to do about these. These are flats that I actually ordered. So I have terracotta yarrow. Some of that is going to go here in the home garden, and some is going to go out to the farm. The coneflower powwow white and the bee balm fireball, I think I might just put out at the farm. I don't know, I might split them up. But the false indigo, the royal purple baptisia, that is staying here. I have actually a yellow one as well. Those are all staying here. They are perennials, and I can cut on those. They're going to go in front of the garden along the fence line, and because deer don't bother them, and in front of, behind where the daffodils are. Okay, so potting up dahlias. We did this last year, but what I'm going to do is, now you can just plant your dahlia tubers directly in the ground. I like to pre-sprout them for 2 reasons. One, it means that I can be sure it's a viable tuber. Now, when it's coming from a place like Swan Island dahlias, I know they're going to be viable. But the main reason I like to pot them up in advance is to pre-sprout them, is so that I can take cuttings so I can get multiple plants off of 1 tuber this season. So the way you do that is super easy. I'm going to show you right here. Okay, so all I have here is a tray. This happens to be a 1020 tray, and I've got just potting soil in here, and it's real shallow. I didn't put it in very deep because we're going to add more soil to it. So here's my bag of dahlia tubers. These are the tags. This is awesome because I don't have to write my own tags. So also each of the tubers is stamped with the name on them, so you don't have to try to guess. And I believe I got just one of each variety so that I could get cuttings. Now they're stamped, but it's kind of hard to see them when they're dirty, so you're going to want to clean them off a little bit. This one is Candlelight. I don't know if you can see that. It says Candlelight, so I will find the tag for that. Here's another fat one. These are all fat ones. Sometimes they're fat and short, and sometimes they're long and skinny. What is this one? Betty Ann. See if I can get a long one for you guys so you can see the differences. Okay, here's a good one. All right, so here's another one. This is one of the long and skinny ones. This one is Fatima. All right, so anatomy of a tuber, and this is really important, especially if you're going to pre-sprout them or if you're just going to be planting them. So this was cut off of another plant, maybe at the end of last season or at the beginning of this season. And so this was the part that was attached to the plant. This is the head of the tuber. This is the neck of the tuber. and this is the actual tuber here. The important part is when you are separating dahlias, you want to make sure you get some eyes. If you don't have eyes, you won't have dahlias. So a lot of times you can find tubers that, you know, like if you're separating themselves, if they don't have an eye on them, then they're not going to actually produce a plant, and there's no point in putting that in the ground because you'll get nothing. So this one's a little bit easier to see. Here, hang on a second. I'm going to spray this off. There we go. Yes, that's much easier to see. Okay, so these are the dahlia tuber eyes. Do you see that right there? And that right there. Those are growth points. That's where the stems will sprout from, and you'll get lots of stems that produce flowers. So if you have a tuber that does not have eyes on it, like I said, you're not going to get flowers. So what I'm going to do to pre-sprout these, it's pretty easy. I'm going to nestle it into this tray, but I'm going to cover it all up with soil. Add some to this. I'm trying to wear gloves right now because my fingers feel like they're so overly dry that they feel like I've been running them up and down a chalkboard, and they're like all the fingerprints are raised and it feels awful. Anyway, I'm going to cover the tuber so that it will start to form roots, but I'm leaving the eyes exposed. Now, if you're going to plant it in the ground, you're not going to do that, but this will force the pre-sprouting process, make it faster. I'll get sprouts off of that, and then I will cut those off, pot those up, and they will be exact clones of this tuber. So that is Fatima. Now, when you have these more rounded ones, sometimes it can be hard to figure it out. This is the tuber. There's a funky little neck here. Doesn't look like much of a neck. And then here are some eyes. So this guy will get the same treatment. I'll put it in here and bury it as much as I can in soil, and then leave the head of the tuber sticking up with the eyes out so that it will start to form sprouts. So it was bound to happen. The final 3 clips of what I shot today apparently were corrupted, and so is the card. So basically what you missed was that I had finished potting up the dahlias. They are now on heat. They'll stay on heat while they are pre-sprouting. When the sprouts are about 2 to 3 inches long, I will start taking cuttings, and I'll make a video at that time. I did pot up some other stuff. All of those will go out to the farm tomorrow. It's pouring rain. It's going to continue heavy rain for the next 2 days. Yeah, I'll have to dress really warmly and as much waterproof as I can tomorrow, be dragging that stuff back and forth to the farm. But I have to go there to water what's already in the farm, in the greenhouse there. So yeah, we'll work out there tomorrow, put some lilies in the 4x4 and the crates, and hopefully this new card isn't going to give up the ghost too soon. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, guys. I hope you have a wonderful time in your garden, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.